Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed educators and fellow learners, close your eyes for a moment and think back to your old school days. Remember the sound of chalk scratching against the blackboard, the rustle of textbook pages, and the anticipation of waiting for your teacher to answer your endless questions? Now, open your eyes and look around. Today's classrooms are filled with smart boards, tablets, and AI-powered learning tools. The world of education has evolved dramatically, and technology sits at the heart of this transformation. As we embrace this digital revolution, we must ask to ourselves, is technology truly bridging the gaps, or is it creating new divides? Today, I, Nuraleeya, invite you to explore the dual-edged sword of technology in education. We are going to talk about its immense potential and its pressing challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt that technology has illuminated the path of education, offering tools and opportunities that were once unimaginable. From the very interactive lessons, global classrooms, and AI-driven tutors, all these innovations promise us a brighter future for learners everywhere. But let me ask you this. What good is the most advanced learning app if a student can't even open it? And what use is a virtual library if the screen remains blank due to no internet connections? So the harsh reality is that digital equity remains the most pressing challenge in education technology today. Now, picture this out. A child in a rural village who is very eager to learn sits at their kitchen table with a tablet in their hand, only to spend half of the lessons waiting for a single page to load. And meanwhile, their classmates in the city breeze through high-definition video lectures and real-time quizzes. Is this fair to you? Is this the equal opportunity we envision for education? And I believe we all still remember in 2019, where the COVID-19 pandemic has exposed this divide in the starkest way possible. Overnight, schools worldwide shifted to online learning, but not every student could follow. While some logged into Zoom classes from quiet home offices, others huddled outside fast food restaurants just to borrow Wi-Fi. Homework assignments for families with only one shared device between 3 siblings, deadlines became a nightmare. Research by Muhammad in 2023 confirmed this, that 30% of students in the surveyed schools face connectivity or device shortage, and this leaving them falling behind with each passing week. And the result? a widening achievement gap that threatens to lock the entire communities out of future opportunities. But here is what frustrates me the most. This isn't just about technology, it is about justice. Education is the engine of social mobility, yet we've allowed a digital caste system to emerge where privilege determines the access. A student's potential shouldn't actually hinge on their postal code or geographical locations or even their parents' paycheck and salary. So where do we go from here? We must treat internet access like electricity or clean water. They are all a public utility and not a luxury. Schools need loaner devices with offline capabilities. The government could provide some, and corporations can sponsor community Wi-Fi hubs. What I'm talking is not about charity, it's about investing to our collective future. Because when we solve this, we can't just fix lagging videos, we actually unlock millions of untapped geniuses. You might be thinking that the next Einstein might be sitting in a village right now, waiting for his or her chance to log on. So let's not keep them from waiting any longer. My fellow friends and educators, let me ask you something personal. Raise your hand if you have ever stared at a new app or device and felt that creeping frustration. The kind that makes you feel overwhelmed and want to throw your hands up and say, I am too old for this. I cannot understand on how this app works. We have all been there, haven't we? That moment when technology moves faster than our comfort levels. Now, imagine a teacher today, expected to master Zoom, Google Classroom, AI tools, and whatever new platforms tomorrow, all while maintaining the magic of teaching that inspires young minds. Teachers also struggle with technologies nowadays, and the truth is stark because research by Nuraleeya Shafiqah in 2025 reveals that nearly 60% of educators feel inadequate when forced to adapt to new technologies without proper training. Let us picture Mrs. Lim, a brilliant literature teacher with 30 years of experience, suddenly told that her chalk and talk methods are obsolete. Or Mr. Ahmad, who excels at connecting with at-risk youth, now struggling to navigate virtual breakout rooms. So this isn't just about buttons and apps, it's about protecting the heart of teaching. But here's the hope. When Singapore implemented its National Digital Literacy Program for teachers, something remarkable happened. Educators weren't just trained, they became co-creators. And the same teacher who learned technology who feared technology, began designing interactive history quests using augmented reality, AR. The math instructor who resisted change started making viral TikTok math puzzles. And the key, it is from the structured peer mentoring, hands-on workshops, and most importantly, the time. So, what is the solution? First and foremost, school must allocate real budgets for ongoing tech training, not just one-off seminars. Second, let's create tech buddy systems where digital native students can coach teachers. Now imagine the empowerment on both sides between educators and students. And thirdly, this is the crucial part. We need to celebrate small wins. Every teacher who tries a new tool deserves applause, not eye rolls when things glitch. Because here's the beautiful part. When we support teachers through the digital transition, they don't just survive, they thrive. That overwhelmed educator becomes the one designing lessons we couldn't imagine 5 years ago. And that's how we create classrooms where wisdom and technology dance together, and where a wise teacher, now digitally empowered, can indeed nurture wiser learners. So today, let's make a promise. To every educator feeling left behind the tech tide, we see you, we value you, and we will ensure you don't just keep up, but lead the way. Let's play a quick game of honesty, shall we? Raise your hand if this sounds familiar. You open your laptop with every little intention to study, telling yourself, just one chapter, then I'll take a break. But suddenly, poof, 2 hours vanish. You've fallen down a rabbit hole of Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and that oddly satisfying video of a capybara befriend with a turtle. So here's the paradox of our digital age. The very devices that put all human knowledge at our fingertips also host the greatest thieves of our focus. Is digital distractions. So, your textbook, your research articles, and your homework planner, they now live in the exact same place as TikTok, Netflix, and that addictive mobile games you can't quit. Mobile Legends, PUBG. Well, it's like trying to diet while keeping a chocolate fountain in your kitchen. So, the data doesn't lie. A 2023 study by Joachim found that 50% of students experience anxiety when disconnected from the internet, not because they miss learning, but because they are addicted to the dopamine hits of likes, notifications, and endless scrolling. And it's actually worse than just wasted time. The 20-minute trap. Research shows it takes students 23 minutes on average to refocus after a digital distraction. That is like spending half your study session just recovering from interruptions. And the comparison curse. Social media doesn't just distract us, it depletes. Seeing your peers post their perfect study routines fuels the imposter syndrome in us. And also, blue light from the screens disrupt our sleep cycles, creating a vicious cycle where our tired minds actually crave more and more stimulation. And this may lead to poorer grades and even increase into higher burnout levels. But before we demonize the technology, let us flip the script. This same device that distracts can also defend our focus. Apps like Forest gamify concentration, where we actually grow a virtual tree while staying off your phone. And also, we could also apply split screen discipline. Use only one side for textbooks and the other for handwritten digital notes. So it means that there are no need for us to switching tabs and ended up scrolling. So here is my challenge to you all today. Let's stop blaming the tool and start mastering its use. Your phone isn't evil, it's the mirror of your habits. And just like we teach kids to cross the road safely, we need digital street smarts. The 5-minute rule. When distracted, let us try committing to a task for just 5 minutes. Once you build up the momentum, I believe you will get into the mood constantly and start doing it until the finish line. Tech-free zones. Designate your bed or bathroom as a no-scroll spaces to retain your mental quiet. So here's the truth. Technology isn't the villain. It's an amplifier. It magnifies both our discipline and our distractions. So let's wield it like a surgeon's scalpel, not a toddler's crayon. After all, the students who will change the world aren't those with the most gadgets, but those with deepest focus in a distracted age. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wished for a teacher who could read your mind? Someone who knows exactly when you are confused or when you are ready for a bigger challenge? That's exactly what artificial intelligence AI is bringing to classrooms today. Here's how AI helps students like you. AI becomes a personal tutor. AI can spot when you are stuck on a math problem and show you different ways to solve it. It offers us a 24/7 of help. It is always available even at 2 a.m. when you are studying for a mock test. AI helps to generate custom learning. If you learn better with visuals or videos than textbook, AI will adjust to your style or maybe offer you podcasts for the auditory learners. But here is the most important part. AI is like a super smart calculator. It is helpful, but it is not human. Real teachers do what AI never can. AI never can understand your feelings. AI never can encourage you when you fail. And AI never can make learning fun and meaningful. So think of it this way. AI is the GPS that shows the road, but teachers are the drivers who help you enjoy the journey. The future? AI won't replace teachers. Instead, it will give them superpowers to help every student in the way they learn best. Remember, technology is just a tool. The real magic happens when we combine smart machines with caring teachers. That is how we will create the best education for everyone. Let me ask you, parents and teachers, have you ever seen kids play their favorite game? Notice how they focus so hard, never get tired, and keep trying and trying until they win? That is the power that we are bringing to classrooms today. Why games make amazing teachers? Teachers can include a secret learning strategies where kids will think that they are playing, but they are actually studying. Where the kids think they are playing, but they are actually solving math puzzles to level up, learning science by training as astronauts, and practicing language by helping story characters. Super Skills Builder. So this game-based learning actually helps children to think smarter. Questions like, how can I solve this, will pop up on their mind. Secondly, they teach children to work together. Let's beat this challenge. And the third one is, it helps children to never give up. I will try again until I win. That is how game-based learning works for children. And here is the important rules for game learning. We must note that game learning is not just for fun. The games must have clear learning goals. And real teachers need to guide the games to make sure the kids actually learn, not just having their time to play and play. And do remember that balance is the key. For as such, 30 minutes for game time and 30 minutes for book time. The best part of this is, when learning started to feel like play, kids actually stop saying, I can't, and start saying, let me try. Shy students can gain confidence, and everyone enjoy school more. Remember, good educational games are like sneaky vegetables. Kids get all the nutrition of learning while enjoying the taste of play. The simple truth is, when we make learning joyful, we actually create children who love to learn forever. My dear friends, Let's take a moment to think about something we all know deep down. Technology is an incredible tool, but it's just that. It's a tool. Like a paintbrush doesn't replace the artist, or a musical instrument will never replace the musician. The same goes to technology. Technology will never replace the heart of learning, the human connection. Yes, we have apps that make mathematics fun, AI tutors that explain difficult concepts, and virtual labs that bring science to life. But behind every great learner, there is always a teacher who sees potential even when the student doesn't. A mentor who says, try again, you are closer than you think. And a classmate who high-fives you after a tough lesson. So, where does that leave us? We must use technology, not depend on it. We must innovate, but never forget what truly matters. We must embrace the future while holding on to the timeless truths. The best education doesn't just fill minds, it touches hearts. So let us move forward together. Let's give every child both the power of technology and the warmth of human guidance. Because when we get this balance right, that is when real learning magic happens. That is all from me. Thank you.